What's up, everybody? You already know what this is. This is LeVar, aka Ramsey, the editor-in-chief of Snubb Magazine. And you know what today is? It's another sit down. We're excited to have our guest today. Many of you may have already know who it is, some may not. So without any type of introduction that we do on our end, we let our guests do it themselves. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself to the world.
Absolutely. Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Brandon Washington, also known as award-winning director, best-selling author, writer boy.
Definitely. One, thank you, like I said, for coming on. We've been talking about this for a while, so we finally here. And like I tell my guests all the time, it's not an interview, it's a conversation. So that's how we're gonna do it. So let's start off with it. We've talked before about it, but you started at a very young age. You started at 17, hitting the pavement, going. Like I said, for myself, it was more of at age 16, I was in the industry doing the same thing, hitting the pavement with it. Where did that type of inspiration come from? To say, you know what, this is the world I want to be in, because everybody wants to be in it, but not a lot of people are executing being in this type of industry. So what
Absolutely.
gave you that force that made you want to do it?
So for me, like I said before, for me, I never dreamed of being like in Hollywood and working with execs and working with networks. It was always me dreaming of like escaping into different worlds. I started off trying to escape my world by creating other worlds. And it wasn't until like I saw the impact that my art had. Like I saw like the influence that like people, the way that I was able to influence others by my art, by my storytelling, told me exactly who I wanted to be in life and what I was going to do in life. Like that was the shift in me. And I was just like, okay, I want to do this. I want to do this. I was 18 when I did this short film. It was called I Am Like Tiffany. It was
Mm-hmm.
about women. And it was the people telling me that I was their voice to keep doing what I'm doing. And I did that for a scholarship.
Mm.
And it was just, I don't know. I think that moment I knew that like I'm gonna keep people on the edge of their seats. I'm gonna make them laugh, make them cry. But at the end of the day, they're gonna leave with a message. I want people to be changed because of my,
Definitely.
you know.
Definitely. I think that's something that a lot of people sometimes forget about, the impact that you have. And we're going to touch on that because, once you step in this world, you become a role model and you touch people in a certain way, whether or not we choose to be it or not,
Yeah,
we become that image or that picture of what it is for anybody that may come from our city, town, state, whatever it may be. They're like, oh, I remember when, but now look at this person. It gives a different impact. So when you get to a point of writing and behind the scenes of things, what is that day like for you? What is that? Because I don't think a lot of people, we talk about it sometimes, but we don't get sometimes to get to even talk to people like you, like the producers or the executives behind the scenes. The work and dedication, the sleepless nights that you all have to go through. And even, I'll even use from my aspect, I was explaining to people when I used to work with BET, I used to tell people when they used to come to these shows, like, it doesn't get shot in one take. I hope you guys know you're going to be sitting there for a good 8 hours of doing the
yes,
same thing over and over.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
what's the mindset when it comes down to creating this masterpiece and the backing of it?
So I played multiple roles on different projects. So it is very different per project, like or the job description that I'm in that moment. So from the beginning, it's a writer, and I'm writing these stories. I'm telling these stories, and for that part of the process, it's about me isolating myself. It's about me escaping from my world, just like I did when I was 16, 17 years old, just to have time and a moment to write and create this world. A lot of times I'll write at like midnight, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, because that's the time when this world is asleep and I'm able to build my world. And other times I'm like, I'll go to whether it's my office or I'll go and try to escape and just get a hotel for a week or two just to kind of just remove myself from the world and just dive and divulge my mind and my soul into this world that I'm creating. Now, on the producer side, now once we start bringing it to life, It is totally different. I am not. I am all about business. I'm about timing, and I am about making sure that everything goes right. It is my job to make sure that it goes right. I'm an literally when we did our Netflix project, executive producing with Netflix. This is not a if, ands, or buts. I'm one of the youngest in the room. I'm one of the blackest in the room. I have to win. And so it's like when I'm as a producer, it is all about making sure that this happens and there is no failure, there's no flaw, there's no nothing. And if something falls out of place, we put it back into place. And yes, you are absolutely right. We don't do 8 hours, we do 12 hours. And we be like early mornings, late nights, but I love my production team. Shout out to WriterBoy Films. Shout out to Wolf Graphic. I love my people, the people I surround myself with. We're really like a family. Like in Los Angeles or wherever we're shooting at, we have a production house. All the production is in there, and it's a beautiful moment to kind of like wake up with everyone. Someone's designated to cook, clean, whatever the case may be, and we're all packing up those production vans, getting into those cars, and getting to work. So it'd be fun. Work, a lot of work, right. But it's fun.
And you touched on something, whether or not any people noticed it, but you touched on how you transition into other positions. And, you know, sometimes I think I was a film student at Howard, and understanding film and behind it, a lot of people don't understand what it means to seclude yourself out of a space and you enter into whatever space you in. I know for me, like the creative side of it, everything has to be off. Like, and I have some type of music in the background playing and my pen is just going. That's my way of doing it. For one of my other friends is a singer-songwriter. For him is a different way of how he gets in those moments. So for you to talk about those moments where you have your time, and then from there, how you jumped into talking about, okay, well, after that, when it's time for me to get into this mode, it's let's go. It's go mode. It's people don't get that. Everybody wants to always have their hands in everything, but they don't know how to separate,
Yeah, it's different. And then because you know why? Because they don't have certain or pure intention. You have to have intention with every job title that you do. When I'm a writer, my intent is to tell these people's story correctly. My intent is to make sure that what I'm putting on paper is the truth for whoever's watching this and live this lifestyle. When it comes down to producer, my intent is to produce this film. My intent is to bring that body of work, of art of work from off of that paper into the real world and put it on screen. That's my intent, and to do it as purely as I can. And as a director, my intent is to pull that emotion out of those actors. And my intent is to make sure that they are believable, make sure that they are not acting as the character, but becoming that character. That is my intent. I lose myself in that. Like I'm literally, as a director, it's me and my actors. Whoever is acting in this scene is me and you. Nobody else exists. The cameramen don't exist. The production don't exist. Lighting don't exist. It's me and you. Now, what do you need from me so I can give that to you and you give me what I need from you? That's literally how it is with me.
Right. And you have to, like you said, you have to be passionate about it. That has to be your passion. You can't just walk into a room and say, oh, this is what I want to do. This is this. Because at any point, we know sometimes funding ain't always going to pop up. Sometimes you got to last minute pull something out the hat. I tell people sometimes we'll be on set, and we had a set one time, no one knew it, but the power went completely out. We were using daylight and the camera and just snapping and moving stuff and putting it in a certain way for that image to come about. But no one knew that we didn't have power for the first 3 hours of the shoot. Wow. You know what I'm saying? But I know that when you're shooting films, there'll be stuff that breaks down or something, and you got to improvise last minute.
Let me tell you something that I did not tell, and I'm okay now. They they know now. But so our first, mind you, first of all, walking into Netflix building was something amazing. But as soon as we walked in there, they usually, when you walk into certain rooms, even when I was with BET, they were telling us what we were going to do, how we were going to do it. I walked into Netflix room and they're like, what are you guys going to do? And thus came Netflix Dreams, this series, kind of like the Wayans brothers did. Long story short, it took them 6 months to greenlight being executive producer on that. It took them 6 months to like let's do it. We're going to do this show with you guys. And I wanted the title because I wanted to hire my own. I wanted to make sure that this came out exactly how we wanted it to. I wanted this to be beautiful and perfect. I had already went and got the deal for Vader. And so it was just like, okay, Vader is going to be starring in this. This is going to be his show, but I need to EP it. I want to make sure that we are able to hire our talent. I want to make sure that we are able to hire everybody. So long story short, fast forward, we're in production for the first episode of Netflix Dreams. We wrap in like 2 weeks. I get home, and then I get a call from King Vader himself, and he is like crying on the phone. He is almost in tears on this phone, and I'm like, "What's going on?" The hard drives failed, and I'm like, "Okay, hold on, wait, what? What that mean?" And it means that we lost half of the footage from production. We literally like, and he was going to try to figure it out, and I'm like, no, bump that. We're taking the rest that we had left with this budget, and we're filming again. We flew everybody out. I thought that calling production, cast, and crew was going to be like a thing. Like they're going to be like, oh no, I can't do this. When I tell you every single person that I made the phone call, letting them know that we got to fly back out to Los Angeles to make this happen, they were like, let's go. It was no ifs, ands, or buts because they understood the assignment. We all
Right.
understood the assignment at the time. So
Right.
it was beautiful. It was beautiful. But yes, things happen. And I'm not about to, this little black boy is not about to call Netflix and tell them that he didn't lost this footage. After
Exactly.
6 months to get this
Yeah.
time, to get this position? Absolutely not. We're going to fly back out. We're going to finish it. And we're still going to come in. We still came in on the correct deadline, too. So we were
And
good.
that's important to talk about because it's many people that don't understand the representation when we walk into the room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Our representation as being black men walking into a room, there's certain already stigmas against us. There's already people thinking that we can't pull it off. But what I tell people all the time is what they forget is how our ancestors pulled through certain stuff. And they
Yes.
forget that power that comes behind us when we walk into
Yes.
this room. There's certain grace and certain poise that we still have. As being creative, we don't just you know, we don't just throw stuff together. For
Yeah.
our culture, we always are the ones to just make things come to life out of the littlest things. And
Yes.
so it's a powerful statement. Like even just hearing you saying, like you walked into the room and they said, "What can we do for you? How can we make this happen?" Because
Yeah.
like you said, we don't have those opportunities sometimes. So sometimes it's no. You got to look this way. You got to cut your hair some way. You got to be on this film and do this, 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 this. And then when
Absolutely.
you watch, you could tell a film or a project when there's nobody that's represented on our thing. Cause it's like, that's not how that will go. That's not
Absolutely.
even.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not authentic. It doesn't make sense. And it's just like you just threw this together. No one in there
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, hey, wait, that don't look right. That don't feel right." No, and our representation is lacking. And I'm not gonna lie. Some rooms I walk into there and they are like, what can we do for you? But then there's others that are they don't there's certain people that don't want us in certain rooms or and like I and we still go through that to this day,
Mhm.
even though we are who we are and we walk how we walk. And there's sometimes where recently I was in New York for a campaign for can't say the name of the company, but they're a big company. Not big
I got
company. I remember Vader was supposed to host something big and an event, and it was like a club event, urban type of event or whatever like that. And they also had a high end event for like the brands and the publishing and everything like that, which we were invited to as well. And getting a text message from the CEO of that company, uh, just kind of the company itself, the people gave me the energy of they don't want us in the room. They don't want us
you.
there. And it was one person, and then it doubled down to another person, and then it continued to trickle down. And I know, we black. We walk into you can feel the energy, you can
Right.
feel, and it was just like, you know what? We're not going to attend the event. I remember texting Vader, and I'm like, don't come down. We're not going to go. And then immediately, within 30 seconds, I called him, and I was like, nah, F that. We going. I don't care if you don't like me in this room. I worked my black self off to be up in this room, and I deserve a spot, a position, and a seat at the table because I
Mm.
worked hard for that. And that seat got my name on it. Why would I not show up just because you don't like me? And why don't you? Like I've
Yeah.
done because I look. Oh, okay,
Right.
that's what you have to deal with, baby. You gonna have to deal
Right.
with that. That don't have nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. And we walk into the room, and 99.9% of the room already knew who we were, coming and giving us so much love, so much grace. So one thing I learned is like not to let one or two or three or four people stop me from walking into the room that I'm destined to be in. If God
Right.
called me into that room, nothing you got to say, Modest. Nothing you got to
Yeah.
say. Walk into the room with your head held high and sit at your table. And if they still looking at you, let them watch you eat. Let them
Yeah.
watch you eat.
Yeah.
That's just simple as that.
Yeah. I did, and it's funny because we've had situations like that where there's certain rooms when we walk in, it's like, okay, who are these people? But by the end of the night, everybody knows who we are, and they're like, oh, can I get with this? But and it makes it so. I tell people this all the time. It makes it so entertaining because one thing I learned from an artist is that she was telling me, this is when I first started out in the industry. She was like, Ramsey, listen, you know everybody in the room, all the way down to the janitors. When you walk in that room, you say hi to everybody. You speak a certain way, you do certain things, and you go from there. And I learned that, but it's crazy how like even now, I still do that. And to see like later on, I'm still getting phone calls like, hey, we want to speak to you, da da da. And I'm like, I don't remember who this person is. And then they remind me like, oh, we met this time. It's like, oh yeah, you like what do we need to talk about? Like, what I'm saying? And
Yes,
then
absolutely.
they want to break stuff down to you, and then you have a choice. It's like, oh, so should I play ball the way that you did me when I walked in the room,
Yeah,
or or
absolutely.
you gotta weigh it out. You gotta weigh it out.
I was just talking to somebody about that, and I'm the type of person that if you were petty to me before I went into that room, and now you want to work, I'm still going to take that check, baby. We're going to take the check, double it now. We're going to double it now, and we're going to put something on top of it because you didn't, and because everyone isn't going to see you, everyone isn't going
Yeah,
to acknowledge who you are,
right,
and that's okay. That's understandable. You don't see what I see. You don't see
right,
the person that God has shown me I am to be. That's fine.
right,
I'm not gonna be petty for that. But if you were petty to me, if you already knew how I walk, and and you know I'm gonna walk into this room, you know I am gonna be who I am, and you stood your way a little bit, or you put your foot at the door a little bit, okay, that's fine, baby. When I'm in the room, I'm not gonna put my foot at the door. It's just a higher price. I'm
right,
WriterBoy now. So now you're gonna have to talk to me different.
right,
And yeah, that's it. Just a little pettiness, just a little pet. I'm still gonna
right,
work with you. We're still
right.
good. We're still good. Just a bigger price. I need more money. I need more money. And,
Definitely.
and it's not even about that. It's about the principle. Like
Yeah,
it's not about the money, but the principle is
you gonna
you did
value me.
absolutely, absolutely, because
Yeah,
you didn't value me then.
yeah,
So you damn sure gonna value me now.
yeah.
That's
So
it.
what's is there any market that you haven't broken into that's like, what, this is where I want to hit next? Or is there a certain, I don't even say ceiling, because I think sometimes when you put a ceiling on something, it means that there's nowhere further up you can go. But
Yeah.
is there a area that you're like, what, that's where I want to step into next in the world?
Yes, and I'm doing it now. Like I have behind the scenes, I am working for multiple networks. I am stressing myself out. Even though I shouldn't be stressing myself out, but I am like, I'm in that moment right now. And that's why I can't even speak on what I'm about to do, but there's going to be a bunch of projects coming out with WriterBoy's name attached to it. And I've been, because I already knew that was the next step for me. That was the next phase for me. And I just wanted to make sure that like I tell stories that are authentic. Like I can make people laugh, hee hee ha ha, like that's cool. I love it,
Right,
and I'm going to do that. However, like I said, I wanted to change lives. I want to affect people. So a lot of the projects that I've been placing myself in, and the networks that have been coming to me asking me for projects, I've made sure that it was something of substance. And or if I'm going to a place, because there's going to be press that come out. If I'm going to a place that looks like WriterBoy is over there, WriterBoy is making contact over it, and when this is done, or when the press come out, you're gonna hit me. You're gonna be like, "That's what you were talking about." Yes, network I will be working with, and however, just know that WriterBoy is WriterBoy. So if I'm going over to a network or doing something with someone, know that I always have a real purpose and intent with every move that I make.
right.
Yeah.
Um, when when you're in this lifestyle like that we've been blessed with, um, I know for me, we speak about it lately. It's been a topic in our community of, mental health and how we keep ourselves focused.
Isn't this
But,
awareness month?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's getting ready to October, I think. I think
Okay.
it is, yeah. So what is something that you do to make sure, like, I know for me, there's times that I don't even notice that I've been to sleep or I haven't been to sleep in like a day or two, and I'll just be up doing running, moving around, doing things. But then it's like, you know what? I need to take a second, refocus, need to get myself back together, meditate, do whatever I need to do. What are some things that you do that's like, you know what? It puts me back in a place of okay, I'm at peace on a certain things. I'm back. Or is there anything that you have to do to make sure that your passion is still, still
There.
alive? Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna tell you what I used to do. What I used to do was get up early in the morning and I'll work out. I'll then read my Bible, I'll read a scriptural passage, and then after that I'll meditate for about an hour, if that, probably 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'll actually get to work. However, now I'm all over the place. But I need to get back to that because that's something that I've been fighting with myself. And I understand when people are going through a lot, especially with their mental, because it is very hard. Once you dug yourself into a hole, it is
Right.
very hard to dig yourself up out of that hole. 6 months ago, I had a six pack and I was running, baby. I was good, looking good, feeling good, doing good. And now I have the entire world at the palm of my hands, and I'm dealing with myself mentally on how to make sure that I am it's a lot, and I feel like everything is all over the place, and it's not because of it's not physical, it's mental. It has everything to do with my mental. It's about me not getting up in the morning and doing what I used to do. But in order to get back to that state, I have to start doing those things. It's just I'll do it one day, and then the next day I'm off. And then I'll try again the next day and the next day I'm off. And I can't get out of that hole like that. If I'm if I'm putting something and then taking it back out, I just can't do that. So it's about consistency, staying consistent with the patterns and the creations that I make for myself. And
Right.
I don't know, and also forgiving myself for falling at times. Like it's okay
Mm.
that I messed up this day. It's okay that I messed up that day. You got it. Get back on it and keep it moving. Because like a lot of things with me, and with I know everybody's like that. I swear I know God is like that with everybody. Because with me, if I fall, if I mess up, and I'm sitting there, oh my God. When I tell you God is like, can you just get up? Come on, let's go.
Right.
Things to
We got
do.
other stuff we gotta do.
Absolutely. And I'm like, my world is falling apart. And he's
Yeah.
like, are you done yet? Let's go. Uh, but yeah, so it's just right now I'm still dealing with digging myself out of that hole.
I
Because
think
I
that's a reality of things. I had to I know for me, when it was after I left another publication before I started doing my own thing. I know for me, like I told everybody, I was done with the industry. I put enough effort into it. Nobody saw me. I mean, I was working on big projects, but nobody saw me. Everything I would, so that's how the name came about, Snub, because people were overlooking me on big projects that I was
I love
behind.
that.
And it was like, no, we're gonna turn that negative into a positive. But during that time, I know for me, I was just like, nah, like I'm done with the industry. Y'all can have it. But then it's something about when people know you and know that you're passionate about it. It's like, what are you doing? Where are you at? What's going on with you? You know what I'm
I,
saying? It's like you have that backing. It's like, no, you good. You okay. Like you said, there may be times where you be like, all right, even just some little things, you'd be like, no, pull it together. Let's go. We got stuff we got to do. Like it's
absolutely. What's that TikTok sound? Stand up.
right.
Stand Let's absolutely get up. Let's go. Let's move.
Definitely, definitely. Um, what do you say to those individuals that, like I said before, that you're a role model? You know what I'm saying? Like there's other uh there are other people of color like us that are looking up at us like, hey, they're doing it right now. How can I get to that level? What do you say to those individuals that are like, how can I get there? What can you say to them?
One, consistency is key. Two, don't talk yourself out of your dream. Like, don't allow anyone else to talk you out of your dream, and don't talk yourself out of your dream either. Don't psych yourself out. Understand one of the biggest things that I didn't compute when I was coming up is how people didn't see me, and oh my goodness, I'm being over. Like I was always like, why can't you see what I see? And I had to understand that they're not going to see it, baby. They can't see what's in your head. So in order to you want them to see you, go make it happen.
Yeah.
And don't wait on anyone to make it happen for you because they're not coming around. I waited on Superman for a long time. Superman ain't never show up. I had to become my own Superman. I had to put my cape on, my mask on, and save my damn self. And I did that. And I know that it is hard. And I know the one thing I'm good at is finding a solution to every problem that comes into my way. And the second thing, the biggest thing that I can tell anybody, especially in the industry that we are in today, you have to worry about the other side of the table. Do not go into the room trying to get you, do you, win for you. I go into the room and I laugh because the first thing that comes out of my mouth is, what do you guys need? Because I want to know what they need. I know what I need. I don't have to scream that to the top of my lungs. I know what I need. What do you need? So that way I can get that, and give that to you. And then I can get what I want in return. That's been one of my biggest blessings in this world, going into the rooms and understanding that it is not about me. Let me make sure I make sure that this network, this company, this organization gets what they need from me. So that way I can get what I need from them. This is business. And then on top of that too, I want a real relationship. I've been everlasting in this industry because I built real relationships. Like I don't like you go Google will work with me. And I think I told the story before. Google people was like getting big bags from Google. Like and when I came in the room, I'm like, how much did you give them? Okay, give me half of that. Give me a little, it was like a little more than half of that. And just promise that we'll have a relationship. Let's work together consistently. And they were like, oh my goodness. Yeah, they were shocked. They were like, yeah, let's do that. And I made more money than they did in the long run because I got deal after deal after deal after deal because it's about relationship. I'm willing to put in the work. Just make sure that you have a platform and a plate for me at that table. That's all. That's all. But that's what I was dreamers. And then also like just to understand like I don't know that you got this, and to not let anyone psych you out, including yourself. Mental health is a very a big thing, and I know that it takes a lot to push through, but you got it. You can, and you will. You will.
I think that's a powerful statement because I think sometimes people get so frustrated about what their parents think, what their family thinks, what their friends think. I mean, I still got people to this day that be like, how's your little publication doing? I could have some big names on the publication and they still say to me, how's that little publication doing? And it's like, do you understand like the magnitude of what we do behind the scenes? There is nothing little about anything we're doing. Right? It may not, and I tell people too, sometimes this too. I know people are big right now on the whole the following and the likes. And I tell people sometimes that's like, okay, when them likes and following go away, are you still that person? Because when I walk out the door, I'm still the same person that is whatever it is. When you take the internet away from me, when you bring it back, you still can look up certain things and it's still going to have my resume look a certain way. Make sure you still got it because taking a pretty picture is not going to just get you anything.
Those likes and those comments aren't going to be forever. At the end of the day, I got with Netflix before I had a blue check. At the end of the day, I was on point before I had a blue check. That like when people start to be able to buy those blue checks, people were shaking in their boots like they were losing their identity. I'm WriterBoy at the end of the day, whatever platform I'm on, whatever that something like that doesn't define who I am.
Right.
Like it's like there's real structure, real growth, real girth here. Like you can't poke my arm and not deflate. Like I'm built like that. I'm really Writer. And some people they can't it doesn't equate to them. It is social media. The likes matter, the comments matter. And I understand, like behind the scenes in business, that matters to these agencies, to these networks, numbers matter. But when those numbers deflate, like to that shouldn't matter in the build or the structure and who you believe you are. The numbers, likes should not define who you are. Like, do you know what I mean? And so, no, I definitely 100% agree with you. People were like, I'm WriterBoy. No matter what you put on what, I'm always going to be me. I'm always going to. I was at Will Smith House with the executive producer of his company, like before Blue Check, before 100K, before 50K followers, like 50K, numbers will never define you.
Yeah. People get caught up. They get caught up in those things, and it's like there's so many people that are. That's why I said I think, like you said, on building a relationship. you build those relationships because no matter what, I can still pick up the phone and text certain people. I can, email certain people and get those responses. You can have a blue check and you can't even get a hold of the manager at McDonald's. Like, let's stop. Let's
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Last thing I want to say too is that like the networks and the production that I work with also don't define me either, and they won't
yeah,
define any creators at all. Like if you making dope content, dope films, and telling dope stories, that's all that matters. You're doing what you're supposed to do and what you want to do in life. The only reason that I work with the networks and not go off and do these things is because I want this to be like everlasting for me. And I know that I got to get in certain doors. And on top of that, I'm trying to speak to certain people.
yeah,
And if on that network and they're watching that stuff, let me run over here and write something for this one. If they're on that network, I understand like this industry, they value these accolades. They value me becoming a best-selling author. They value me being executive producer over with a Netflix series. They value all of that stuff. I could care less. I just want to tell stories. I just
right,
want to tell stories. However, if they care about it and I need to get into that room to speak to all the masses, then that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do.
definitely,
But that doesn't define you. Just because you don't have a deal with Netflix or you don't have a deal with Amazon, look, you can get on Tubi right now, and if your stuff is bombed, then it's bombed, baby. If they
right,
coming, baby. Let's go. I have a meeting with Tubi next week. It is not the networks that define you. It is who you are. It is
right.
who you are. And I know people be looking at me like, well, you got this and you got that, and you can't say that. No, I am dead serious. If I could throw it all away today and just write and know that the world will see me, I wouldn't care. I do it. I do it. I
Right.
just understand how it's structured now. And it's just like, look, create, write, develop, and do what you want to do. And don't let nobody stop you because you never know what project, what story, what vision that you had that's going to change the world, change someone else's life. You never
Definitely.
know.
So our thing that we do here on Snub is the last three. It's the three questions that we do since there's a number three in Snub. All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna ask you these three questions. You answer the best that you can. It's not nothing tricky. It's real simple how we do it.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So the first one is on a personal base. What are three words that best describe who Writer Boy is as a person?
Determined, strong, and very intelligent. Intelligent.
Okay, we're gonna run with. Let's see. I'm not gonna do it. We can try. We can say it. We'll run with intelligence. Why would you pick one of those statements? We have all we've used the other ones I think, but I haven't had nobody choose that word.
Okay.
So let's run with that. Why did you pick that word?
Because there's a lot of problems that come my way, and I continue to like solve them. I continue to solve them time and time again. There's not been one thing that came across my desk that I couldn't figure out. I always figure it out, and I find that that's a tool that a lot of people don't have. They don't. They're like they can't figure out. They're stuck. They're
Yeah,
like they're paused. And for me, that's not an option for me. So I always figure it out. It's like I can't say I don't know. I got
right,
50 people to feed. Like I can't say
right.
I have to figure it out. I have to figure it out. So,
Definitely. If there is, this could be, you could pick anybody. If there was a person, past or present, that you could be in their shoes for 24 hours, who would you want to be and why?
I don't know because okay, the, the initial person that came to my head was Tyler Perry, right? But
Okay.
however, that seems very stressful. Like I'm already stressed. I'm already stressed for what I do. It's just like that seems like a lot of stress. Um, I guess we'll say that maybe a Tyler. And transparency, the only thing that I would do is what I know that I'm going to do when I get to a certain level, which is the same thing that I do now, pull back. Like the moment that if I was him for that day, all I'm doing is calling independent filmmakers, seeing which ones we're pulling in today and creating, and we're just about to make this whole new movement. It's going to be Tyler Perry signs such and such, like I will make it a moment. Because I don't know, especially if I'm him, I've let the entire world hear my voice, and now it's time for you to hear others. Yeah.
Definitely. And then the final question is, what do you want to be remembered for? What is something that you want to be remembered for when it's all said and done? What is Writer Boy's ultimate statement that he would want?
Um, I'll say this one sentence in this dream. I said one sentence, one word, dream. Genuinely, like I want people to understand that they can have more, that they can become more, that you can do more. Like I want people to be changed because I was here. I want
Mm.
people, I want lives to be changed because I existed. I genuinely just I want to impact people. Like when my funeral happens, I want all the blocks closed down, everybody outside because WriterBoy just passed. It is a thing, and he is and it is not because he's this famous guy that everyone loved. It's that he touched every one of us. He did something to me that helped push me to I don't know, do something more, be some more. Even if I just sow one little seed in somebody, like that's all I want. My film on Amazon Dream, I got a video of this boy, and I know him too. He's been on a couple of my sets, and for him to send me this video of him crying and telling me that he is that character that I wrote, because that character, Haki, is me. It's a version of me that I've left on film, and for him to say that he sees himself in me, and him to say that he's never going to give up on his dream, and he's pushing and he's crying, and this is like so emotional that I never put it out. I'm putting it out next week though because it's the anniversary of my film company. But just I just want people to be changed because I was here. I want to affect people like I did him and so many others that have come my way.
Definitely, definitely. Well, let people know. Well, one, thank you for a dope interview of not interview, a great conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But what let people know how they can find you, how they can reach you on social media platforms so we can make sure that we have that for them to reach out to you as well.
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and what's the other? Facebook, all at I Am WriterBoy. You can also go to IamWriterBoy.com to see all of my credentials, credits, blogs, whatever that people writing about me is all on my LinkedIn bio. And then also for my film production company that creates television series and films for like Netflix, Amazon, the whole nine yards, and to be soon. You can go to writerboyfilms.com.
Definitely. And we thank you for coming on the sit down with us. And whatever projects you have coming up, let us know. Anything that we can attend, my team can attend or do anything, let us know as well. We'll definitely support you. I'm really big on making sure that, sometimes in the media, we're not represented correctly. We all see the negatives that happen. That's why our publication came about, because all we do is strive for positivity. We don't got time for all the mess that goes on because it starts clouding your judgment and memory.
Yes.
So whatever you got going on, definitely send it over to us. Let us know how we can support you, and we'll definitely be there for you. All right.
Thank you so much, man. I will. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Definitely, definitely. All right. You have a good one, okay?